All right, we're live.
All right. Happy Halloween. I'm a rabbit.
Oh yeah, okay, nice. Good costume. Good costume.
Yep, there you go. There's my contribution.
Yeah,
How's it going, Paul?
it's going okay. Another day.
Um, no Johnny's on candy duty,
Yes, that's right.
and it sounds like his cat got out.
Yeah, not surprising.
Do you have to do anything candy? Do you get trick-or-treaters?
No, we're in a locked build. We're in an apartment, so
Okay. Yeah, we don't get anyone either. I did go to John just said he's available. So let's get
okay.
him in here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Um,
Why not, right?
yeah, absolutely. If he was literally like a minute earlier,
That's so
that'd
funny.
be
Good
so
timing.
funny.
Well, it's good
Um,
timing because we didn't really start really. So
oh, it's good. We'll just keep going.
yeah.
What was I even talking about? Oh, I just went to the usual Halloween street.
Hmm.
Um, that has all the fun decorations here in town, and once again, it's gotten worse than it was last year. I feel like I said that the last year, the year before that. It pre-pandemic, the decorations were so much better. Also, it's like, all right, here's my bone I'm picking this year.
Okay.
If you're gonna do trick or treating, like if you're gonna be the house that gives out candy,
Yep.
you turn your light on to say, "Come get candy."
Yeah.
Put some decorations up.
Yeah. Sure.
Like all these people that are literally like, I'll do the candy thing, but that's it. Like, fuck off. What are you doing?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I
I don't
mean,
know,
fair
man.
enough.
And also, like in my area, it's like you have enough money for a house, you have enough money for some lights, or like a skeleton or
Yeah.
something in your lawn.
I
Come
mean,
on.
you can go to like any place and get like an inflatable like coffin or ghost or something. So just throw
Yeah,
one of
put
those up.
put anything up, like a lantern that lights up or something. Like put like it's like if you're not gonna do that, don't give out the candy. What's the point? Like, it's just
Sure.
boring. I'm walking around being like, I want to see all these cool costumes and stuff, and it's like only every like maybe third house at most has like cool decorations or any decorations.
Yeah. Yeah, Halloween is different from when we were younger, when we were kids, for sure. I've noticed it's just kind of not a thing anymore in this area at least. And I remember like other kids being everybody being out running around and like it was a thing, right? That's not.
Do you think that's maybe just like a because you were smaller, everything like you're just not remembering the like boring chunks, or do you think that is like less people are just doing it?
I think less people are just doing it because I remember there would be kids like everywhere or whatever on the streets, and
Sure.
it was the night
And
kids
I mean,
took
it's a little
over.
hard for me to compare because I'm in like a very different location.
You're in a
But
different
even when I'm talking
country
to my dad,
completely,
it felt
so
like the
yeah,
last few years, my
yeah,
dad was saying like, I don't know, we got like 3 kids. But like when I was trick or treating in that neighborhood, there was like a bunch of people around.
yeah,
I don't know, and like even here, we're walking around, we're looking at the decorations, we're looking at the fun costumes, and I'm seeing these kids. They have just like little baskets, like little like Easter sized baskets,
yeah,
and it's like that's not enough. I was walking around with a pillowcase,
yep.
and I
Pillowcase.
probably filled that
Yep.
thing twice.
Yeah. No, exactly.
John, you're probably a good person to chime in about this. First off, great costume, love it.
Thank you, thank you.
I mean, it's no rabbit ears, but like, what is?
I was
Um,
expecting the hot dog outfit from you personally.
I
Sure.
was wearing that earlier when I went out and did my thing. But anyways,
Nice.
we're talking
Okay,
about
okay, good, good.
is Halloween was a better previously, like, has it gotten worse? You were doing the candy duty.
Yeah.
What was the spread like?
We probably had about 30 groups come up ish. Like,
Okay.
and most of them were like at least 2 people each. So 50 to 60 kids, somewhere in that range.
Would you say you're getting, as the years go on, more or less trick or treaters?
Less.
Less.
This year was probably close to equal. Like, I know the first year after COVID, we had a small amount. COVID completely messed it all up.
Sure.
Sure.
And then apparently a bunch of people go do mall hops now. So like they
Yeah.
just go to like Chinook and just walk through from the
That's
stores and get
insane.
candy there.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were talking about that. And I remember when I worked at EB Games, and I remember you brought in some candy for people who were going to come in and trick or treat. And I had no idea what you were talking about because I've never done that. And I feel bad for kids who that's their trick or treating.
I do miss like riding around the back of a truck and just getting like driving into a block, just going to a couple of houses, hopping in the pan,
Yeah,
and going to another group.
sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And so like Paul was saying, when we were kids, there was just a lot more people out there trick or treating, and it just seems like there's less people doing that.
Yeah, I don't think there's less people doing it. I feel like there's just like they're either just going to specific areas or they're just doing it for like fun events or something like that. Like plenty of people were dressed up on the weekend. Hell, I was dressed up yesterday.
Right. Sure. So like the kids showing up, do they? What kind of like package? What kind of basket are they carrying?
I mean, the majority are just using like reusable bags. Like some of them got like the
Reusable
little
bags.
pumpkin containers, stuff like that. One kid was
Sure.
using his
Okay.
backpack. One dude literally had like a shopping bag. Like
Yeah,
it
because
was scattered all over the place.
I was saying it was pillowcases for us, and we would fill those things.
Yep.
I didn't see any pillowcase kids this year, but I've seen them in the past, and I've definitely known some as I was growing up.
Yeah, I didn't see any when I was out because I just went out to like the Halloween street just to kind of be a part of it. That's when I was wearing my hot dog suit. I didn't see anyone with a pillowcase, and multiple times we were like, that pail is too small. Like if that's all you're getting, that's a
They don't
bummer.
expect much candy.
Yeah.
To be
So
fair,
weird.
some parents do set a limit so that you can only get what fits in your container.
We would do like our limit was like at what point in the night is it now to like too late? We need to call it a night kind of thing.
The
Yeah.
time, yeah, that makes sense too. Like
yeah,
when you start
and I
bumping into
even
houses with the porch lights off, that's it. It's over.
And I even remember we would set up a route that would loop back to my house so we could
Yeah.
unload what we had
And then go
and
back
go
out.
for round 2.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I've known people that do that. My hometown was basically a straight line, so that was not really an option.
Sure.
And it was a big deal when you got your first traffic light and
We never got a traffic light.
oh damn. Okay.
No, it's that small.
I did see a kid today dressed as a traffic light, which
Okay.
was very cute.
Good.
Did you see any cool costumes? What were some of the popular ones?
I think I saw a pickle, so I'm assuming it's a pickle Rick.
Probably.
Yeah, I saw a Wookiee. I saw a Poppy's Playtime monster.
Yeah, sure.
I think it was Poppy
I don't know what
themselves.
that is.
I think Five Nights at Freddy's, but more modern.
We've talked about this. Part of the like weird kid mascot horror stuff. Poppy's Playtime is one
Wait,
of those.
is Five Nights at Freddy's not modern anymore? Is it like old?
It's a decade old.
It's retro.
Holy
yeah.
shit. But
Yeah.
they just had a movie.
Yeah, and they're gonna have a second one.
And they're
It's
gonna have a
it's not
second
unpopular. It's just retro now.
Yep.
Oh my god, fuck time.
It's retro
Holy
kids
shit.
horror.
Yep.
I saw a lot of Star Wars. Like stormtroopers are still there. A lot of the like I guess it was more for the parents, like the ones where it's kind of an inflatable and it makes you look like you're riding something.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, I had one kid that was like a bus.
Okay.
Like,
Awesome.
all right,
Yep.
cool.
I mean, equivalent of that. Like it was like the little inflatable like suit you wear around you, so it looks like you're just sticking out of a bus.
Sure. It's great. What about you, Paul? Just kind of out in the wild. Have you seen any cool costumes over the last week?
No.
No? Trying to think what else was popular. A lot of Waldos.
Really?
A lot of Beetlejuice.
Okay, yeah, no,
Okay.
I could see that because of the new movie and
Yeah.
the musical and stuff.
Yep. Cool. All right. What was your what were you giving out? Were you a full size candy bar person? Were you just like
No, we had smalls, but we were giving out multiples because we weren't sure how many people we were gonna get. Like
Yeah.
we had like 250 candy pieces, and we
Mm.
started like eating a couple of them beforehand, so we weren't sure what the count was, but we've probably got at least 100 left.
Yeah.
okay?
That's just a rough estimate.
By
but
the
yeah,
end,
like,
you
we
just
had
start
we had
putting
we had a
handfuls.
giant container about like this big, and now it's probably down to here.
Okay.
But it's still a sizable amount, still covering the bottom.
Actually, I saw a few girls. They must have been like I don't know, preteenish age, and I was just like, I was asking, the people, I was just like, is that a costume? They're in like shorts and a fedora, and they were Taylor Swift eras.
Oh,
Okay.
We saw
that's
a
actually
few
really
people-
clever.
A few
Interesting.
people were dressed up as Taylor Swift. Would not have expected that.
It makes sense. She's like one of the most popular musicians in the world, so
Nope, definitely makes sense. All right, let's play some. Let's not play anything. Let's talk about video games.
I mean, we can play games if you want.
Let's talk about playing video games. How about that? This is
Okay.
the top down perspective. It's October 31st, so it's a spooky edition, as you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
I'm Carmen Sandiego.
Sure.
John Wheeler.
That's true. That is not wrong. I'm the youngest host here. Just gonna put that
Yeah.
out there. Yep.
True.
Oh, good. The
Um,
oldest one put in the most work.
No, I said I was the youngest one. John, what have
Yeah.
you been playing?
That's a good question. Nothing. I guess Control. Control's about it.
Okay.
Where are you at in Control?
I think I've just finished mission 5. I just met my brother,
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
and I
Great
got
dude.
all the dream dialogues where he basically breaks the fourth wall over and over and over.
All right. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
so I'm still
Cool.
enjoying it. Still good. I'm not
Nice.
sure how much of the game I have left at this point, but I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because there's some side stuff you can do as well, and kind of expect you to come back to some certain areas at some point. So it's hard to
I
tell.
feel like there was quite a bit after getting the brother. I thought the brother was kind of early on, but it's
Right?
been a
Like I
couple
said, it's
years.
chapter 5. I think I just finished chapter 5 because that's the achievement I got.
Okay.
All right.
I just
Nice.
don't know how many chapters there are.
Nice.
How about you, Paul?
So I decided to try out that Monster Hunter Wilds beta just to make sure that that's going to be good. And yeah, sure enough, that is definitely going to be next year's game of the year. So that's good to see.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right.
Probably it's already a front runner because it's more of that. It is more of that.
Sure.
That thing is pretty cool. I didn't want to play too much of it because in the past I've gone too hard, especially with World. I went really hard in the beta twice on the PlayStation and then when it came out on PC, and then I bought it twice on PlayStation and then PC because they did a staggered release, and I got like really sick of it by the time Iceborne came out, the expansion. So I only played through that once rather than like grind it out, which is kind of the point for Monster Hunter games. Wanted to make sure that that I didn't maybe burn out early, so I only did the first 2 hunts. The weird, the Chotacabra or whatever, the weird toad type creature, and
Okay.
the
Yeah.
Doshiguma, which is the
Yeah.
bear thing, the big bear type monster.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Fought both of these in Germany.
That game plays very nicely. The animations and all the movements are very cool, very fluid, and that game is just, it's basically just World but better, which makes sense because that's what they were going for. I don't know how much I like the open world stuff yet, because I kind of like the old style Monster Hunter games of like a hub, you go out, you find the monster in the world, you tag it with a paintball, and you have to chase it around, then you go back to the hub after. But I'm sure I'll get used to it. Like, it seemed pretty seamless in play. There were some weird frame rate issues I had here and there on the PlayStation. Some parts that it's obviously like doing variable quality resolution stuff where at some points it just kind of looked a little uglier than before, and then it would kind of fix itself. I think the weather effects probably hide a lot of sins as well too. Like when a big storm comes along, I think that's kind of the game's way of just saying like, we don't have to do draw distance now, so this fight can get a little more intense or whatever. But it's kind of a cool way to do it, so I'm good with that. The weapons feel cool. I like that they got rid of the clutch claw from Iceborne because that became a weird crutch that I think a lot of people use, and it was kind of boring at some point. I really like their wounding system that they implemented, where you create wounds and then you can kind of like target them and just like do a whole bunch of damage to them to knock the
Get like
monsters
a critical
down.
hit. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of really cool things to make the hunts feel like you are actually beating a monster down more so than before, rather than just chasing it around and hitting it whenever you can. Yeah, really cool things.
Was this in the previous games where you're chasing a monster and it goes into like an enemy territory and then they start fighting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was there before.
That was definitely cool that's cool when that happens for sure.
Yep. And it's cool, like, especially with the bear monster, you're fighting an alpha is like the first monster quest you have or whatever, to fight an alpha one of those. But of course there's like 2 or 3 others hanging out with it, so you kind of have to pull it away from the pack or fight all of them if you're crazy or any of that stuff. And like, I kind of like how that changes up the game a little bit as well, where you have to kind of find out how to do to pull them away or use the environment in different ways or whatever. I ended up just using the dung pods because that's kind of what they're there for, is to make them disperse or whatever, and then just
Right. Yep.
yeah. So no, it's cool. It's very very cool so far. I'm excited to play that game when it comes out. I think that's easily going to be a top 10, if not like a top 5 for next year. And see
Wow.
how they fuck it up.
Okay.
The next game is a game I just wanted to give a PSA to people that like weird horror things, like indie horror things. Mouthwashing is a game that you play.
I don't like that this is a title for a scary game. That's
Sure.
just unsettling.
I don't even really want to go into why or anything, but it is a game where you play a captain of a ship that has been in an accident, and you are basically just trying to hold things together, and things go bad, basically.
Oh, okay. That doesn't sound like anything I was expecting.
Yeah, no. I don't know what you were expecting, but there's less.
Dentist
I'll say-
game.
I was thinking
sure.
a lot of like weird body horror involving the
There's
mouth. I
less
guess.
body horror than you would expect, but there's a little in there for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
So then
actually
where does it get the name?
like the
That's
thing
a
you
spoiler. Don't say. I guess.
so the thing you find out, the company you work with, a company called the Pony Express or whatever, which is a courier company in space, and you are delivering a bunch of mouthwash.
Oh, okay.
And
All right.
but there's like some double meanings and stuff. It's actually more of a game about the horror is like the other people you're with, and less so an actual like monster chasing you sort of thing, even though there are
The monster was inside of us all along.
that
Okay.
sort of thing. Yeah.
We're the Walking Dead. Got it.
Yeah, something like that. It's very very cool. It's a very cool game. So it's only about 2 hours long. I definitely recommend people pick it up. It does deal with some maybe trigger warning things going on in there, but when you're playing a horror game, you probably have to just expect that there's going to be some fucked up stuff in there.
Sure.
Yeah. And then the last thing is Shadows of the Damned Hella Remastered came out about
Oh, that came out?
20 hours
Shit.
ago. Yeah, it
I
came
think it's
out.
also
that's why.
only like $25, which is like weirdly cheap.
It's pretty cheap, yeah.
Yeah.
So
All
I
right,
waited
tell me
for,
about your big boner.
let me tell you about it. This came out at about 1 a.m, so I just put in about an hour or so, an hour and a half, because I was waiting to see how it is. And it's a little disappointing that they didn't do more for it. It's pretty much just a port into 2024 on PC and like consoles. It does have the 4K resolution, 60 frames a second, but like that's kind of where it ends. There's no like real reworked anything. It's still the classic PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 type graphics upscaled. Like it's a little too bad that they didn't put a little more work into it, but for what it is, it's that game again, and that game is great. Like I really like that game and its weird sensibilities, and it's just that again. It's also really fun playing it with a keyboard and mouse because I hate shooters with a controller. I can't stand it. So it's been fun. There's people should play that game. There's nothing really more to say about.
They didn't add anything to it, right? It's just the same game again.
It's the exact same game. Yep. As far as I can
I mean,
tell,
that's
they
still
didn't
good.
censor or change any dialogue, which is also a little surprising.
Yeah, a little bit. Now I
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah, some of it is weird. Like, even
God
back then, it
bless
was
Suda.
like, this is weird.
God
Yeah.
bless Suda and his ability to get away with whatever the heck he wants.
Yeah, no, totally. That game is easier than I remembered as well, and I just played it again last year. But yeah, for some reason I remember that game being longer and harder, and it is not. It is pretty easy and short. I got to Act 3 in the hour and a half I played it or whatever.
If memory serves, like the final act or the second final act is like stupidly long.
Yeah, because there's like some really bad parts where you just have to. There's like slugs that have a little angler light on them through some darkness
Yeah.
areas that you have to just like follow, and that escort you through while shit attacks you. That part sucks. Like that's the part that I'm just thinking maybe I'll play up until that part and then just quit because I hated that part and I don't want to do it again. And that's like close to the end, but yeah, you're right. There's a lot of stuff. I think in like Act 5 and 6 that is just stupidly long.
Yeah.
Good game
'Cause
though.
I think they do like the side scroller a lot in 5 or 6.
Oh,
because
you're
they were
right.
like crunched for time, so they just kept putting that in.
You're right. They have the weird side-scrolling shmup type thing where you're just like your character's floating, shooting stuff.
It's like a stage show or like a puppet show.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about
I don't
those
remember this
parts.
part at all.
It was like
Yeah.
it was a shmup area where like every time you got hit, you lost clothing or like you started losing like limbs and body parts and like skin.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you drank alcohol and it all came back.
The part you probably
Alright.
remember is when a bunch of giants are attacking you and you're on a building saying, "Taste my big boner," over and over
Yeah.
as you shoot stuff.
Yeah.
I do remember that, and that's pretty much all I remember.
That's the part
about that
that's
game.
just like, this is hilarious until you've played it for 10 minutes and then you're like, shut the fuck up. Like, Jesus.
Remember, there's a lot
I get
of
it. Dick joke, dick joke, dick joke.
Yeah. Yeah. It's still a cool game, though. I really love that game, and it's been fun to revisit it on PC. That's pretty
Nice.
much it.
All right. We got some show and tell.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
You've
I
seen
know
my
what this
socials.
is.
You probably know what
Yeah.
this is.
Yeah.
Nice. There we go.
I'm not allowed to talk about it. I'm allowed to show this box.
You can show the box. That's it. Cool.
Okay. The box is empty, right? Like, it's hooked up and everything?
No, I'm pretty strong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could lift that box. I've lifted them before. They're not that heavy.
I'm allowed to show the box. I'm not allowed to unbox it yet
Okay.
on like publicly, but
Yeah. No, I got you.
there's this box. There's the back to it.
Yeah, that's a back. Sure.
That sure is a PS5 Pro.
There's Witness Play Unleashed.
Yeah.
For the
Right.
for the audio listeners, this is the PlayStation Pro box.
Yes.
The PlayStation 5 Pro.
Are you
box.
even able to say if you've tried anything on it yet?
I
Probably
assume that
not.
would mean he's not allowed to say anything, period.
I don't think I'm allowed to say anything, period, but I mean, wouldn't that be implied?
Yeah.
That you-
Well, I was
that
going to
you
ask,
used
what
it?
is the first thing you tried? That was the question, but I don't know if you can answer that.
Trying to think. I think that would be fine. Because I can, because like I talked about it in the past. Because this is technically like the third time I've gone hands-on with the Pro.
It's Rebirth, right? You tried Rebirth?
So, no, actually,
Oh, okay.
Rebirth's update is not out yet.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
It will be by the time the console launches, but not before I review it.
Yeah. Are you able to say how many games have an update so far? Like as of right now?
I don't know off the top of my head. Maybe
Oh,
like
okay. It
trying to
can't be
think of
that many.
list. Maybe there's like 10.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
I think it's like there's like 10 available, and then there's like 3 more that will have it by launch.
Hmm.
I think that's about it.
Okay. Yep.
I can probably say which ones because a lot of them have been posting about it on social network. Like the Alan Wake 2 has been posting a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't have that on PlayStation though, so I'm not playing that. But yeah, it comes out November 7th. I will talk about it a bunch more next week.
That's
Yep. But let's talk about some games I can finally now talk about because
okay.
I've been playing some big titles for a little bit here now. The first being the game that kept getting Game of the Week that I could not talk about, Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep.
Yo, guys, this game is great.
Okay.
Like, holy smokes, I'm having so much fun. It's so cool. Yeah, I already talked about kind of like my preview a few weeks ago, or over a month at this point. Right now I'm about 20 hours into it. It's a long game for sure. I think the estimate they gave us was like around 40 plus if you're just doing like a story run through.
Sure. That sounds
And then it
about
gets
right.
closer to like 100 if you're doing like every single thing.
Right. Makes sense.
But no, it's cool, and I think it's worth having a conversation about how nice it is to have BioWare back on top.
Yeah.
Because before this was Anthem, and then
Wow, was
before
that the
that
last
was
thing?
Mass
Mass Effect
Effect
Andromeda.
Andromeda.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
So the last
It's
time
not been a good
BioWare,
decade for them.
yeah, the last one would have been Mass Effect 3, where they got like a positive, and that was in 2012. So it's been 12 years of just kind of shit.
Jeez. Crazy.
And also, like, specifically with Andromeda and Anthem, those games were like super buggy, and I have, just kind of been looking around from what I've played, from what I've been seeing from the other reviews and stuff. Dragon Age runs completely fine. Like, it's
Yeah.
not janky at all.
I had this weird like issue in my mind because I wanted to get Dragon Age on console to have it physical, and then I saw Digital Foundry say great PC port. It's just like, oh, we get so few good PC ports. I have to get it on PC. It's too bad.
So is that what you decided to do, was PC?
I haven't bought it yet because it came out today. So, and I generally don't pre-order.
Oh, actually, Phantom Age is corrected. Inquisition came out in 2014, so it has been a decade,
Okay.
not 12 years.
Sure. Yeah. And this is kind of like the follow-up to, well, a DLC specifically from Inquisition. It's like a direct follow-up to it. So I guess it makes sense that they would continue that ball rolling pretty good.
Yeah, and it's really good. I'm obviously playing it with like pretty limited experience of Dragon Age. In fact, I did not really like what I had played in the past, which was mostly Origins. Then I played a bit of Inquisition leading up to this, which I liked more, but I just didn't get enough into it. I'm really liking this one. The characters are all pretty cool, and if you like Mass Effect, which I love Mass Effect, there's a lot of Mass Effect in here with the like hanging out with your companions. There's companion specific quests. But the combat is like they have completely gotten rid of every aspect of like this could be kind of a strategy game, squad tactic stuff. That's all gone. It is just an action game now, and I just think it's so cool when you're just like warp dodging around, firing off spells and stuff. I'm playing a mage. I pretty much never play, but I really enjoyed it when I was doing the preview session of it, and the skill tree is just really cool to how you change up your character. There's like vastly different ways of being a mage. I'm specking towards like Spellblade,
Okay.
which is like mage that uses a sword, which is pretty awesome and stuff like that. So
nice.
yeah, I've been wanting to play a ton of this, and I had up until about last week, and then some more stuff came out. PlayStation came, so I've had to put it aside for about a week now. But I just cannot wait to get back to it.
Cool.
Paul, it sounds like you're going to dive in.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
It's out today.
Yeah, it is out today. So I gotta pick it up after this here. I was waiting to kind of get confirmation that everything was running good or whatever, because there's so many things to play that I'm kind of at a point where if something isn't like perfect, I can just wait for a patch or whatever. Like I can give it a month. But this sounds like it's primo, so I'm gonna have to pick it up right away and take a look. Unfortunately, the questions I had. Sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
Nope. Oh, I was going to say, unfortunately, the questions I have for you that I've heard maybe mixed things about would be very specific to knowing the characters, lore, and races for this world that people have problems with. And it doesn't sound like maybe you would care about any of that stuff. And that's kind of like what the only questions
I have the
I
answers
would have.
for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't.
So we'll have to. I'll have to see.
Some early characters I'm really enjoying. His name is Lucanus. Lucanus de la Morte. He's this like assassin dude who's also possessed by a demon. He's pretty awesome. Actually, let me just look up all the companions. What was that other girl's name? Veilguard. And then the mage you get really early on, Nev Gallus. She's super cool. So those are like my go-to two at the moment.
Nice.
Yeah, I like them. And Rook's cool. You get to hear your character quite a bit, which is awesome. I'm playing an elf, which is cool. The character creator is also really well done. I've been seeing some pretty fun designs online. So yeah, I'm liking that quite a bit as well. And it's
You
just cool. Like you have the lighthouse, which is basically the Normandy, and you can walk around and you'll get notifications like, hey, this person wants to talk, and you can go over there and just like Mass Effect, you can flirt with them if you want and increase the bond and all that stuff. So yeah,
do you know if
it's
you can
it.
bring your character from Inquisition over? Is there like a import feature or
I
something?
don't think there's
I doubt that because it's so old at this point.
yeah, I don't think there's a specific save transfer, but you can go through like a questionnaire
Okay.
to be like what decisions you made. And I just said, just give me like the default because I wouldn't know what that stuff meant anyways. Um, so if you remember
Well,
what
they're
those things
expecting
are,
me
and I
to
didn't go.
remember. Oh shit.
That's the thing is I was about to say is I didn't go into that menu to be like how much text context it gives you.
Yeah.
So hopefully, they must know, right? Like it's been 10 years. I'm sure they probably gave you a bit of context as opposed to just like,
Yeah.
did you turn left or right at this fork?
Right. Because I remember Mass Effect did something similar of like if you didn't have a character, it would be like, do you side with like Garrus or Ashley or whatever in this part? And then you're just like,
Yeah,
what was the fight about again? Probably racism because Ash was kind of like a racist.
Ashley. Yeah,
like so.
I don't know who would pick Ashley. It wasn't Garrus. It was another human. It was like two humans.
It
'Cause
was
that's
like
from Mass Effect
Kaiden
1,
and
but yeah,
Ashley.
Ashley was a space racist. So
And Kaiden or whatever was the other guy, something like that.
okay, yeah, you're right.
Kaiden,
Caden. Yes, yeah.
yeah.
There's
So
also like
similar.
Ashley versus Garrus. Garrus wins that hands down. Like Garrus is one of the coolest companions in Mass Effect of all time.
Man, that game has a lot of really good companions. Yeah.
Just thinking about that. Fucking Morden. Holy shit, Morden's so good.
I can't think about it. I'll cry. I can't do it.
That's a good point. Like Rex. Whatever, I forget what is that race called? Krogan.
The
Every
Krogans.
Krogan you get is awesome.
Yeah. True.
And Thane, dude, Thane, and then like his son shows up. Fuck man. And then in Mass Effect 3, when they had the bonus DLC at the beginning of the like Promethean or whatever, and he just had all the cool context. So it's like, okay, well, you're just in my party every single time because you have such cool backstory stuff.
And you had to pay like $15 for that DLC. Like it was worth it, but at the same time, you're just like, fuck you. This is the
really
best
missed
character.
out. Yeah. You're so fucking cool. I still remember one of the things I've forgotten so much about Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
But he was commenting on Morden's race, which I do not remember what his race of.
He said something
what they're
like they were
called.
salamanders or something.
Yeah, he's
at
like,
some
"What?"
point.
I
Yeah.
remember they used to lick their eyeballs.
Or like they ate flies, I think is the line.
Yeah,
Something like
yeah,
that.
like when they were, yeah.
Yeah.
God, it's so good, man. Man, Mass Effect's so cool.
It is. It's nice to hear that not Mass Effect, BioWare is kind
Dragon
of
Age.
back
Well.
in that mode with this. So that's
Yeah.
good.
I do really think that like they're taking some cues from Mass Effect, which is great to hear. That's exactly what I want to hear, and I am liking this world quite a bit. So I also think it looks really nice. I typically don't play games on like performance mode because I want like the 4K visuals, but because this is kind of there's like a art style, there's a stylistic. It's not super detailed. It's like in between hyper realistic and cartoony. I actually knocked it down to performance mode because the art style just still looks great at 1080, and but the combat is just so fluid and fast. Having that at 60 was really worth it. So it's like
Sure.
the one time I recommend play on performance mode.
Sure. From the videos and pictures, I actually don't like the art style at all, but I think it'll grow on me. I like it.
Oh, wow.
It's
Okay.
not enough to.
I mean, that was a major complaint when the
me.
last trailer came out that everyone said it looked like Fortnite.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. Well, yes, they did say that. I wouldn't go that far, but I'm just not a fan of it. But I don't think it's enough to dissuade me personally, at least.
Okay.
Can't wait.
Other than that, so last week I talked about Life is Strange Double Exposure's first 2 episodes. I had already finished that game, but I couldn't talk about all that yet until this week.
So now I'm
I have
telling you
finished
the
Double Exposure.
ending. This happens.
Yeah, and this is what happens with Max. No,
Yeah.
I don't have a ton more that I can say without spoiling it. I will say I'm conflicted on how it does end because they definitely make like a choice about where it's going in the future, and that it's a lot different than how a lot of the other Life is Stranges have ended.
Okay.
Again, though, I don't want to spoil things for people. I liked that game. I returning with Max was definitely cool. Um, and yeah, there's not much more I can really say without spoiling stuff because it's so narrative heavy.
Do you feel
It
that
feel
the choices you make any difference for the ending? Or is it kind of does it feel like the ending is always probably going to happen in some way or another?
the ending I think is always going to
Okay.
happen. I do not think it is like I mean I didn't actually do much research, but I would be surprised if you got a different ending.
Okay.
I do not think it is like the first Life is Strange where there are two endings. I think it is kind of the like similar to like walking the first
Yeah,
season of
yeah.
Walking Dead. I think it is diamond shaped where in the middle it'll probably expand a little bit and then come back to a same.
Yeah.
But I feel like most of these games is like that. It's a question of how good are they at tricking you into thinking you have any like authority over this story when actually no, we all kind of got a very similar thing. So,
Right. Okay. Cool.
but the characters are good. I like the characters. Even some of the characters where I was like, there's this one guy because they kind of set up two romantic interests for Max. One of which is she's cool, and then there's this smarmy asshole dude, and it's like, who would pick this dude? By the end of it, it's like, okay, you know what? You're like not too bad. Like I could see it. Okay, like so, and I think that's pretty good. Like I think the characters are pretty interesting in this one, which is nice to see.
Cool. Nice.
And last is that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is now out on Game Pass. So I this is the earliest I've ever played a Call of Duty game from
Sure.
release date. Um, I haven't played any of the competitive multiplayer yet. I wanted to get through the campaign,
Okay.
which I'll talk about in a second because I just wanted to briefly say that I played some zombies and that I think that sucks. I don't like that mode.
Sure.
From what I understand, they've played a little bit of Modern Warfare 3's zombies. A lot of Modern Warfare 3 is like, here's a big open world for you to run around. And then
Mhm.
in 6, people were like, oh, they brought back round based zombies. So it's like a horde mode. I just found it so boring. Like, I don't know. When I think about horde mode, I think Gears of War horde mode. I think about setting up like like a little. We're gonna hunker down. We're gonna fortify this area, and we're gonna survive. This is just kind of like just run around and survive for as long as you can. And it was me, my friend, and then two randos. And after like an hour, we were like, we gotta like evac. You can only evac every 5 rounds,
Mhm.
and you can only do it if 3 of the 4 people like approve the evac. So we never got to stop playing until we died.
Mm.
Gotcha.
Like my friend and I, we would go hit the evac thing, and then the other two guys were just off fucking around doing their own thing, and it was just like none of them are gonna come over here and say yes, are they? And no, they didn't. And then you know every time you die, you do come back with a bunch of money, so you can try and buy back some of the strong weapons you have. But like, it got to a difficulty level where it was like I couldn't even like get to a good gun by the time. Like I was just respawning and like dying within 30 seconds again. So we were just like watching the other people, and they were hardly even fighting. They were just running around a lot, so to like get away from the mobs is on. Like it was so boring. And I guess it's
Hmm.
just like that's on me for like playing with randos. Maybe I just need to play with my friend so we can kind of talk and be like, okay, what are we gonna focus on? Blah blah blah. But I don't know either.
So the fun part about zombies modes is that there's usually secret objectives to do around the map where like so you'll like go to places like okay you like hit these buttons while I do this and like you're gonna have to keep zombies out like there's actual
Yeah.
things to do. The problem is it's generally secret objective stuff that like you have to look around the map and just be like hey why is this like this then you like activate it or whatever you're like
Or
holy
look up
shit
a
a
guide or
whole
something.
thing
Yeah,
yeah
and we had because my friend had more experience with this zombies, so they were like, "Hey, let's bring this valve over to like the
yeah
bowling alley and we'll turn it." And we tried a few times. It was just so hard. We kept dying
yeah
attempted. So eventually we're just like, "Let's not do that again." Like it's we're gonna die. I feel like maybe because there was 4 of us, all 4 of us probably had to be in there, kind of protecting the person turning the valve really slowly or whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
so that's what I like about it. I like the idea of getting in there with 3 other people and just being like, all right, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta hold them off, blah blah blah, and like kind of almost like a raid or something. The problem is
Sure.
that if you're with randos, some either you're the idiot or they're the idiots, where like you're not following what they're doing or they're not following what you're doing, so it can be kind of a mess.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll give it another try and we'll just lock it to the two of us so it's more manageable and we can
Yeah.
actually get some of that stuff done. I'm also just like not sure if I really care much about this mode because again, like
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like outside of Gears, how many other games have been doing horde modes? I feel like it's a rarity. Like I feel like and maybe I'm not looking in the right spots, but I'm just not hearing the word horde mode used that much these days.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Killing Floor, and it's literally only horde mode is that whole
Okay.
game. But that's kind of like a mod that got big enough to be a game, so I don't know that counts. Yeah,
Oh, people are
Splatoon,
saying
Salmon Run,
Splatoon. That's right, Splatoon did, and they in that DLC that was a horde mode for sure.
that was fun too. It was good.
Yeah. I think I just really enjoyed myself with Gears of War 2 like too much and nothing's going to bring that back and why can't I just be like 15 again with my friends after school playing Gears 2 horde mode?
Yeah,
It's like,
totally.
"Hey guys, we're going to sit down on Saturday and do 50 levels of horde mode and make sure you pick up the dude's shield before the round ends otherwise it despawns cuz you need to put that right in the stairwell."
Yeah,
Like it
I'm
was it
having
was
flashbacks as you describe this.
right? Like, what was exciting about that is like, what are the like the limitations of this? And like that's what makes it exciting. And I feel like,
yeah,
that's all that's the thing is like there's a famous quote is like what's gonna like be remembered is the limitations of the platform. Is gonna be the things that people look back fondly on. And it was like, yeah, make sure you get like the crossbow, and we're just gonna make like a wall of these shields so that they like have to slowly crawl over them. Or what was that other map with like it was like the map was like river, and there was like the two houses, and it's like you got to put two shields right in the doorway so they can't actually walk in. Like, oh, it's such good times, man. Holy shit. I'm just waiting for video games to get as good as when I was 15. So let me know when that happens again.
yeah,
But anyways, the campaign. I think the campaign's really fun. The first two missions, I think were actually pretty like cookie cutter shooter missions. But as soon as you get to this one where you're given a camera and JFK is there, and you have to go around like photoing some stuff, they start getting pretty interesting. There's like different like ways you can take on the mission. Do you want to like because you're kind of like being like secret agent spy in that one. So it's like, do you want to? Here's like three ways you can intercept it, and then after that, there's this like open world one that's pretty fun, which is almost kind of like a Far Cry mission where you're like getting intel from your people up in the towers, and they're like, yo, there's like 15 dudes down there, and then you have to like take on the base, and it's a whole open world. And then the one after that, I don't really want to spoil. I'll just say it's like the weird one.
yeah. Black Ops always have a couple of those, so that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah,
So that's where I am right now when I had to pause it because then the PlayStation showed up. But I'm in the middle of that one, and that one's definitely weird. So I'm quite enjoying myself with the campaign for sure.
cool.
So cool, just having that in Game Pass.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. You didn't do any of the multiplayer at all?
Not other than zombies, no.
Gotcha. I've been playing the multiplayer. It's very fun. It's a good time. There's specifically I talked about this in the beta as well. The fact that there's I don't know if they have a term for it, but like you can dash and like move in any direction. And
Yeah,
that
they do. I was about to ask you what you think about it. I think it's called like Omni movement or something like
it's
that.
something dumb
Like
like
you can
that.
do
Yeah.
weird like stranglehold dives off to like the side.
It is so cool and so dumb because you know how hard it is to fucking shoot at somebody when you're dashing and like throwing yourself off of a balcony. Like it's impossible.
That's cool as fuck. Who cares if you
Well,
like hit
so
anything?
here's what happens, right? You're like, oh, this is gonna be sick. You fling yourself off, you aim at them, you miss every shot, you land on the ground, then they shoot you in the head once and then run away.
And then you're just like, fuck yeah, let's go again.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so cool. It makes the movement in that game super super fun. But it's weird because like a lot of those maps really feel like you're doing yourself a disservice if you play run and gun using that cool movement, because there are a lot of like corners and weird sight lines and stuff that it feels like they're trying to slow the game down a little bit. And maybe this will change because Nuketown comes out tomorrow, and Nuketown is just a clusterfuck map where everybody's just shooting at everybody all the time, so I'm excited to try that. But like I can't remember the name of it. There's one level that is literally just like a strip mall in America or something, and there's so many parts that you can just like hide and wait for people or whatever, that you're kind of the dumb one if you're running around running and gunning because people are just like waiting for you to get into their sights and then they shoot you and move on. So it's weird. There's like this weird, the movement's great, but there's a lot of maps where people are camping and hiding out, so maybe you shouldn't be running around all the time. And also this, you haven't played them, obviously you haven't done the multiplayer. There's a bunch of strike maps which are very small maps, and I've only played one of them, but it's so cool. It's called Stakeout, and it's just 2 apartment buildings that are like with a wall blown up, and but like it's so small that if you just like spawn and just start running and shooting, you're probably gonna hit somebody. It's so great.
I've heard there's a really small map and it's weird.
Yeah, they're all small maps, these ones, because they're 2v2, but I think there's a mode that you can actually play them 6v6, which is just like stupid. The problem is that they don't seem to come up in rotation when I'm doing those maps. It's all the other ones, but yeah, no, I think the multiplayer is very, very cool. I'm looking forward to doing the campaign. I like the Call of Duty campaigns generally, so
cool.
I'm into it.
I'm curious, now that you're Paul, now that you're done your like Halloween, because October's over, what's the first like not scary game you're gonna play?
Probably Dragon Age.
Dragon Age. Cool.
Probably.
All right, let's do some news. A few small things happened this week. First off, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, the offline version, got announced because they are shutting down the live service game.
Right. Okay.
This is coming December 3rd. There's an introductory price of $10, and then after January, it's going up to $20. If you're at all interested in that, this is better than them just going away forever. So I guess that's good on them.
This is basically, was it Rockman X Dive or Mega Man X Dive?
Yeah.
Offline mode. Yeah.
Yep.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's the Mega Man Gotcha game that ended up getting like a Steam version where they took out all the Gotcha elements.
Okay. Oh, this trailer they dropped for this thing is 12 minutes long. Holy shit.
Oh, God.
In case people forgot what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played Pocket Camp for one Thanksgiving weekend because it launched like right before it. And then I did not play it again. But it did get me a bunch of cool items in New Horizons the recent one?
Yes.
Yeah, I got some cool items from this that I was able to transfer over. So that was the real win.
I didn't get really into this. What was the mobile mechanic here? Did they just give you like energy and you had to wait? Did you have to buy things like?
Yeah, I think there was an energy system.
Okay.
I can't remember much about the microtransactions because I didn't do any of it.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't. Again, I haven't played Pocket Camp in probably 5 or 6 years.
With all those limitations gone in this like fully purchasable version, do you think that game is like worth checking out and fun now because it's not like putting up walls, or is it still kind of?
I mean, it wasn't really that like hungry for purchases from what I remember.
Okay.
It was just more of a time sink kind of game.
I mean, you could probably pay to speed up those
Yeah, you could buy tickets or something
the
like that.
energy system so you could do stuff again. Yeah. Honestly, I don't remember a whole lot about what the actual like minute to minute gameplay was.
Yeah.
You had a camp and you could decorate the camp.
Yep.
And that would attract certain like animals to stay in your camp and stuff like that. And you could transfer animals between Pocket Camp and New Horizons and some other stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've thought that much.
Nice.
All right, I'm going to stick with the Nintendo news here. They just randomly dropped Nintendo music out of nowhere. Like
what a weird month for Nintendo. The Alarmo and now this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like no build up or anything. It's just Nintendo Music, a new smart device app exclusively for Nintendo Switch Online members. I don't know why you would do that. Lets you stream or download music from Nintendo's library of soundtracks. It will be released later today. This was yesterday, so it's already out. And they have like a 2-minute trailer. I don't know.
I downloaded this.
It's Spotify. It almost looks exactly like Spotify.
It's Spotify.
Yeah,
100%.
They do have a cool feature where it has a ton of music in there. And you can change the length of some of the songs. So if you just want to listen to like the Wii Shop music, for an hour, you can do that.
That is a good
Oh.
feature. That's a really good feature.
That's cool.
That is cool. I was just reading some of the responses in our Discord, and some people were saying like some of these songs are just like not great to listen to, and they'll just kind of like pop up in there because it is just like
Yeah.
it's not curated anyway. It's just like, hey, if this was a song, here you go. So you could even get stuff like the like non-music that from Breath of the Wild, where it's just kind of
Oh.
quiet and it chimes every little bit now and
Interesting.
then.
Hmm.
But then you can do stuff like, hey, if you want like Pikmin 4's theme, but you want to like study to it, so instead of it being 2 minutes, it's now an hour long.
Hmm.
Yeah, Paul, you said you downloaded this.
I did.
What was the first song you played?
That Jump Up Superstar.
Okay,
And then I closed it. And then I haven't used it since.
you got what you needed, and then you deleted it right off your phone, and I was like,
Nope.
done, 5 stars.
No, it's exactly. No, it's on my phone.
What about
still.
you, John?
I haven't grabbed it yet. No.
Okay, Paul, you're a Nintendo Switch Online member?
Oh yeah, every year I re-up.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's pretty cheap.
I know it's cheap. I'm just like, what are you playing multiplayer on the Switch?
Right now, nothing. But if I want to, I can.
Okay, is it just for like the NES games?
Yeah, generally, if it's because like I'll probably want something at some point during the year, so I might as well just do it.
Well, now I need access to my Nintendo Music.
Now it's that, yeah. They're getting me little by little.
All right, over to the bummer news. We finally now know what's going on with Firerock Studios, the developer behind Concord.
Hmm.
You don't remember, obviously Concord got shut down, and then the weird thing is over the past few weeks, the Steam version was getting updates in the background, even though it was an unplayable game. Sony has closed that studio. It's gone.
It's unfortunately not surprising at all, but
It is not surprising. It is a bummer.
There's a weird moment there where it was like they were saying that they're gonna kind of regroup and find out the future of Concord. It's like, oh, maybe they're not letting them go. Like a few weeks later, it's like, no, we're letting them go.
And then we were also getting reports where they were like, we actually don't know what they're deciding, so we're just kind of hanging out and hoping. And then like I said, the Steam updates are happening. It's like, okay, so they're doing something to that game.
Weird, yeah.
The quote here, this is from Herman Holst, who sent out an internal email saying, after much thought, we have determined the best path forward is to permanently sunset the game and close the studio. I want to thank all of Firewalk for their craftsmanship, creative spirit, and dedication. I think it's a bummer that you're closing the studio. Like, I don't know, put them on something else.
I mean, how much money do they sink into this at this point? Like, I guess they just they're just burning it down because it's a critical failure.
Right. The number that was getting thrown around was like 200 million was on this game. Like it had been in development for like 6 years and stuff. Which is crazy that they like cut and ran so fast after that. Because that was the big question is like, okay, they put so much money, they must be trying to save it, right? And just no.
Everything about this has been weird. It's like 2 weeks after, it's like, oh, it's not doing amazingly. We're just gonna refund everybody and pretend this never happened. All right. Sure.
Along with this one, they also announced that Neon Koi, a mobile studio, was also getting shut down that they owned. They hadn't put out any game. I think they were working on a mobile shooter, is what I had heard. So that studio got shut down alongside this. Number was like somewhere like in the mid 200s people are lost their jobs this week from all this.
Yeah, I don't know Neon Koi at all.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
I don't think they released anything, like straight up.
That's the thing. They hadn't released anything. They were a few years into making a game. So, yeah, pour one out for them. That's a bummer. All right, and last bit, we were just talking about Call of Duty, which reminded me to grab this story, is we have a bit of some quotes on how some of the sales did, because the big question leading into Call of Duty Black Ops 6 was, did Microsoft's gamble pay off? This is if this didn't work, then you know that the acquisition of Activision was not smart, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of where the rubber hits the road. Sounds like it's going well for them.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It is Call of
I mean,
Duty.
you would hope, but like part
Yeah.
of me was like, because as far as I'm concerned, Microsoft needs a win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like if anything was going to give them the win, it was this. So, Nadella, the head of Microsoft, went out there and answered a few questions and gave some quotes. Some of them here: the biggest Call of Duty release ever. During the call, the game set a record for Game Pass subscriber ads on launch day. Sales were up 60% on PlayStation and Steam from last year's Modern Warfare 3. Remember, they did still launch it on multiple platforms, not just Xbox.
Yep.
He went into a bit of saying, this speaks to our strategy of meeting gamers where they are and enabling them to play more games across the screens they spend time on. It was also pointed out that Black Ops 6 is the first mainline Call of Duty to support cloud gaming from the launch.
Sure. Yeah, that's cool.
So I guess good for them. This is probably the win they needed. I'm sure we'll see what the long tail on it is and how much it actually impacts Game Pass for sure, but they needed that for sure.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting.
All right. And that's it for news. Let's do some questions. popdownperspective@gmail.com is the email address, at TDP Podcast on Twitter and Blue Sky. There's the Discord channel and John's P.O. Box if you want to send a question in. You could sound like Rasterman. I will also just mention there was a lot of Genie questions this week.
I mean, it is Halloween. That's when genies are at their strongest.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess
True.
so. But they seem pretty strong the rest of the year in our questions section somehow. Anyway, Rasterman writes, Gabriel Eni is no, he isn't, but his daughter, evil magical girl in practice, Gloria, surely is.
Okay.
All
right.
Sure.
She meets you and gives you the possibility to be the best in the world at something of your choosing. However, upon doing so, you'll lose all memory of ever asking for it, plus 3 random memories of varying importance, low,
Wait.
medium, and high.
What? Okay.
Also, she didn't clarify if by being the best in the world you'd be the one changing or everyone else would. What do you choose?
Oh, I didn't think about that part. That part's
Well, I
mean.
guess at the end,
That
yeah,
part's
it's like,
mean.
do you get really good at something or does everyone get really bad at something?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't change my answer. I would be the best shooter in the world. Best marksman. And if everybody else gets worse, that's fine.
Okay, so here's my issue with that is, again, you're gonna forget what you're the best at as soon as you
I'm okay
get
with that. I don't shoot things in everyday life, so I'm okay with that as well.
Yeah,
but if I need to,
in order to get any advantage, you need to pick something that you do routinely that you will pick up on. Like, whoa, hang on, I'm the best at this.
Yeah. Well, it's like you just forget asking for it. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't understand this 3 random memories of varying.
So, well, you'll just pick any random memory of importance. Like a high memory for me for importance would be getting married, like the wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that, so.
I think that's what kind of kills it for me is
Yeah.
I'm not okay with doing that.
Just 3 random memories, yeah.
Yeah, like whatever that is.
I got a lot of memories. I know a lot of Simpsons episodes. You can take all those away if you want.
True. Yeah.
That aside, though, like if I was going to pick what to be good at, could I pick something like I'm the best at not having back pain?
I'm the best at having money.
having money. One that I would pick up on probably is if like weightlifting. Because I could probably, it's like, wow, everyone here doesn't know how to lift weights. That's actually pretty standard. Most people at the gym don't know what the fuck they're doing. So
that changed fast.
So okay, Paul, you're picking marksman. Is that in the hopes that like, oh, you know what the monkey paw in that one is? The monkey paw. So if you become the best marksman, and let's say you get the like everyone else gets worse,
yeah,
and it's going to be a lot of more shooting accidents.
I like the implication that they get so bad at aiming they just can't hit anything. Period. So like the mass shootings go down because no one can hit the broadside of a barn.
So it becomes like a weird like stormtrooper thing where they just like,
yeah, exactly.
So
okay. That was kind of the thought of like everyone else gets worse. It's like that's fine because then they
you've
won't
literally
hit anything.
solved war at that point. Like
I don't know. I'm thinking like I'm thinking like, okay, JFK assassination. He's
Yeah.
he's aiming for JFK. It's like fuck missed, but he hit someone else. Okay, I'll try again. Fuck missed, but he hit someone else, and he's like 5 lives before he hits JFK.
I will take this sacrifice. I'm okay with this. Yeah.
Like it's like an Agent 47. It's like here's your mark, and it's like okay, well I'm gonna kill 10 people on the way to doing that because I am not a very good assassin.
Oh, so you have seen me play Hitman then? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's like don't hit anyone else. It's like I can't do that. I'm going in guns blazing. It's not stealth. It's not a stealth run this time.
That's the funnest part of those games, though, is just be like, oh shit, I killed him. Oh shit, I have to kill him. Oh shit, another
Wait,
guy
he just saw me. I have to whip a hammer at that guy.
It's the best part.
I don't think I do it. Not for the memory thing.
The memory thing's rough. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's a gamble, like if it's guaranteed you lose one high priority one, I'm no. If it's gamble, I'd think about it, but
Okay, but for you, John, let's get rid of the memory one. What would you pick? What do you want to be the best at?
like I said, having money.
Having
So
money, okay.
I either want to be rich or I want to ruin the entire damn economy. So either way,
Everyone's bad at having money. Okay.
I either get Musk's money or Musk doesn't get money. So like it's win-win in a way.
Yo, did you see that headline today of him like making a Texas sperm farm or something?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what to tell you.
Why
For the
is life like this?
For the memory thing, what's a high memory that you could, like a high importance memory that you could conceivably be like, yeah, I could forget that. Does that even make
Graduating?
any sense?
Graduating.
Okay.
Yeah,
My
I
sister's
guess.
wedding.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like other people's weddings.
That's the thing. I feel like if you're willing to say this is not that I'm willing to lose it, it's no longer high importance.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. Yeah.
By definition, you've changed it.
Yeah. Like graduation, I think is like, yeah, okay, I could see losing that and being fine.
I could see being willing to lose like sad memories that kind of made you who you are, but you can't take the pain of it anymore, like the loss of a loved one or something like that. Like
the Uncle Ben. Yeah. No, I get it.
yeah, the Uncle Ben situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I pick your Uncle Ben so then so I don't have to lose anything?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
You remembering my dead
I
Uncle
feel like
Ben?
if it's high importance, it's gonna be like your mom's face.
Yeah,
Or
right.
something. Like, it's something where it's just like not worth it. I don't need to be the best at anything to still remember who my mom is.
Sure, yeah. Low importance is fine.
Low importance I'd probably already forgotten.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I probably have
Yeah.
lost like thousands of those today. So
Yeah. And I'll do it again. Like just
Simpsons
watch me.
episodes.
yeah.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, those are stored at least in the medium because I remember a lot of those.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
You were saying is you've got a few medium important memories that you wish would get ranked a little further, but your brain's broken.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I
Add a
TV.
don't
RAM.
need this information. Stop remembering the cheat code to whatever.
Yeah. XBAY up, write down. That's Mortal Kombat 3. Yeah.
I
Yeah, you
say,
don't need that. That's not
I
helping you
remember
ever.
Call a Cab from Vector Man.
Call a Cab. Yep, that's a good one.
Yep.
Yep.
Random commercial jingles doesn't help me on the day to day, but for some reason I'll always like 2 in the morning. Why is this in my head?
Oh God, and it's the worst too because as Canadians we got a lot of American TV, so I have jingles in my head that we don't even have in Canada. We don't have Alarm Force. Like fuck.
It's like not. You couldn't even use this information if you wanted to.
Right.
I don't want
Exactly.
to call
For some
Empire
reason
Carpet today.
For some reason, it's a core memory because you watched it on like a Thanksgiving and you can't separate those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suku writes, what character names would make for great video game titles with no extra words added?
Character names.
With no extra words.
Bayonetta.
True. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like any character name. Oh,
Ones
what's
that are
the
coming
dude what's the dude from Daikatana? Oh no. He's got an amazing name. I'm looking it
I
up.
love this. All the ones that come to mind, they are like in the name, like Alan Wake's there,
Yeah.
Benedict Fox.
What about Die Hard Man?
Superfly Johnson.
Superfly
Superfly
Johnson's good.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of ones from Kojima games
From
that you could just,
Kojima games
that
specifically,
you
yeah.
could pick. Yeah. Um,
All of his I was gonna say Foxhound specific, but all of his like villains have great names that could be a game.
The End,
I don't-
The Sorrow,
whoever that guy that Jeff Keighley played in,
The Mountain Dew Man.
Yeah.
um, I mean, you could have made like a Pokemon game just called Ash Ketchum because
Yeah.
his name is stupid like that, and it would have worked.
Yep.
Coltrane.
Yep.
Full Train.
You could do that.
Yeah, you could definitely do Marcus Phoenix.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess that's just like
Dead points out if Halo was called Master Chief, I think that would be fine. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of these names are just like there's a lot of like dude bro energy to them.
Yeah. Gordon Freeman, so he could just be Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
See, yeah, I could see Freeman being a game. I could see, yeah, Freeman would absolutely be a game for sure. Lara Croft would work. I feel like half those are
Half
already
those are
called
called
like,
Lara Croft Tomb
yeah,
Raider, so
exactly, yeah. Ayaka Siwa, that's from Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yep.
Red versus Blue, but it's a Pokemon game.
Mm.
Yeah.
I do like, we're talking about Shazadam. Garcia Hotspur is a fun name.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one.
It's a good one. Yep. Oh, what good game.
Dad writes in and says, all the game saves in the universe are suddenly gone, except ones you've touched in the last year. Gabe comes in and says he can retrieve 3 additional game saves for you. Which ones do you request? Ooh.
Wow. I'd probably like one of my like original Pokemon games saves just to
Yeah,
The
like,
one that came
have.
that
out
might
was
be
my
nice to
Pokemon
have.
Gold one that I had like 300 hours in. That was a pretty big one for me. The
Yeah.
thing is though, like I never,
I know, but
I'm
like
never going to touch that again.
Yeah, I know.
I
that's
just
the
know
thing.
that I'm never going to touch that again.
Yeah.
I thought about like my original like Burnout Paradise, but I've done literally everything you can do in that game. So I'm never going to play that file again. If anything, I'm going to play like the remastered where I have stuff to do.
I wouldn't mind seeing like some of my old RPG saves, like like
Mm.
Earthbound or something like that, or Chrono Trigger, just to see like how I did back then when I was a kid. See
Yeah.
what
Okay.
weird names I gave them, but like that's more of a nostalgia thing than anything. I did have a memory card die that had like a completed Smash Melee save and like stuff
Oh,
like that. So
yeah.
maybe some of those things, like some of those ones that you have to grind out stuff to unlock.
Yeah, that's a
save
good
that
one where
has
you're unlocking a
unlocks.
bunch. Smash
Yeah.
would be good.
Yep. Yep.
Maybe even just Smash Melee because I put so much time into that one just to have the like in not that I ever looked at it, but it does keep track of like hours played, stuff you
Mm.
had done, just to have those numbers available.
Yeah.
Antemagus, Ahoy TDB crew, and happy Halloween. What are your favorite activities to do during the season of treats and trickery?
I have no idea what I like
Costumes.
doing.
Costumes are cool. Yeah.
Costumes, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess costume parties is probably what I end up usually doing. So then you get to see a whole bunch. I always like seeing the decorations. Is there anyone around you guys that has the 12-foot Home Depot skeleton?
No. I wish.
No,
Yep.
and that makes me sad. I went
Me
to go
too.
visit friends last week, and they had a 12-foot tall Jack Skellington, one of the houses
Okay.
nearby.
Okay. That's
I
good.
mean, there's a bunch of them now, but there's something about that first one that was just
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Horror media. But that's
Yeah.
like I like horror at any point of the year, but I like having it all like revisiting old horror stuff, I guess, in Halloween. Or it's newer stuff as they come out during the year.
I like watching old Halloween specials on like cartoon Halloween specials.
Those are great. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Nickelodeon
Great
ones. Those are,
Pumpkin.
yeah, those are
Mhm.
fun. Honestly, probably the one that I get like the most time in, just because I'm like on Twitter all the time, is just seeing all the like the joke costumes.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like seeing that.
I love when Weird Al gives out the best costume awards every year, and it's just tons of pictures of people who dressed up as him.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty good. Final question comes from Jacko304. Happy Halloween, TDP. What is the best candy to get on trick-or-treating besides full-size candy bars?
I always liked it when I got Kit Kats and arrows.
Okay. It's been so. I'm not much of a sweets person, so I'm having a hard time what I was really into. I will say candy corn sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tastes so bad. I mean, at one year I went to a place that gave like a can of pop.
Oh
That's pretty
wow.
good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a rich neighborhood for sure. Um,
Oh.
Find the name of this candy that I absolutely hated.
Kinder eggs.
know.
I've never gone anywhere that gave me a Kinder egg.
Yeah, I've never
I've had
done
Kinder
that
Egg.
either.
I'd give it for Halloween?
I believe so. Yeah, I think so.
That's wild. Those things aren't exactly cheap, or at least they weren't back
No.
then.
Yeah, I think so.
There's like some cookies and cream bar I used to like getting that was really tasty. I'm trying to think of what
Okay.
else.
I think that was literally called cookies and cream.
It probably was.
Yeah. Does that not exist anymore or something?
It probably still does. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it does, but like I just remember it as a kid.
Okay. I mean, I think this is just kind of like what's your favorite candy because there's a small
Yeah.
version of everything.
Yeah.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
probably mine.
Orange lollipops, those were up there. Orange
Okay.
lollipops.
Is like specifically orange.
Well, yeah, because it's the flavor. It was you always see like the generic brand of lollipop, so it would just be like, okay, this is the yellow one, this is the orange one, this is the green one. Hell yeah, give me the orange one.
Parents definitely had a rule: any candy that wasn't wrapped, I had to put in the garbage.
Which makes sense.
Also weird, like who's giving out loose jelly beans?
Yeah.
Like, ew. What are you doing?
We
Yeah.
just went down to the bulk barn, just bought a bunch of jelly beans, and just put them in a little container,
Grab
pour
a
them out.
handful of jelly beans. Yeah, that sounds gross at this point.
Here's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
jelly bean spoon. Grab it and put it in your bag.
I like Nerds a lot. You get
Okay,
a little
yep.
box of Nerds.
You ever get those ones where it's like you lick the stick and then you put it in like a powder and it's like
Yep.
a flavored powder? Yeah,
Fun Dip.
dipping sticks.
Fun
Yeah,
Dip.
Fun Dip. Yeah,
Yep.
I don't think I ever got that from trick or treating.
I think
but,
I
like,
did once, but they're like really
Okay.
small.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fun Dip. That was great. So dumb. Could you imagine just sitting there and just going through a whole thing? I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna dip this over and over again.
I mean, as a kid, I did that because I was a
I
kid.
get-
I had the
I
time.
had nothing better to do. But I'm trying to think like as an adult, like while I'm watching a movie or something, and I'm just sitting
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That's just snack.
Licking
It's
a
the same
Fun
as
Dip?
eating like a thing of popcorn.
Yeah, no, that just I don't know. Seems different.
Yeah.
One seems like, what are you doing? Whereas the other one's popcorn.
Anything is a snack if you try hard enough.
Oh,
It's true.
Warheads. Hell yeah, Warheads. I remember the first time I ever had a Warhead, I immediately spit it out. It was so sour.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Crunchy. I think it's only in Canada with the toffee, sponge toffee. Love crunchy.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
You got are O. Henry's still a thing?
Yeah. I think we
I
were
like
giving
peanut.
some out this year.
I haven't had
Okay.
one in a
Oh,
long
Henry's.
time, but yep. There's
I haven't had any of these in a long time.
I will be having some of them momentarily, probably.
I
Sure.
feel like the only chocolate bars I eat nowadays are Kit Kats because I try to find the weird flavor ones.
Yeah, that's different though. You're not usually gonna get weird flavors for Halloween.
Exactly. Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
just get
The
chocolate,
generic.
So yeah. All right, that's going to do it for questions this week. Again, if you want to send in questions for next week, topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, on Blue Sky. There's the Discord channel and John's P.O. Box. What is your game of the week?
Control.
Mouthwashing.
Mine's probably Call of Duty this week.
Nice.
Cool. Thanks everyone for listening. Happy Halloween, and we'll see you next weekend. Not weekend, next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.